The self-important idiots over at the Grio have an article about why Kamala Harris lost her absolutely terrible election. All right, so for those of you who do not know, the Grio is basically a step up from maybe like Joy Reid. All right, so they probably don't think that mass deportations are going to happen for people who have melanin, as they would say over on Sirius XM. They probably don't think that. Side note on that issue. First of all, no one believes that. Okay, that's insane. That's one of the top three insane things I've heard this week. Some of the other one was that we should have an entirely new election, a re-election. Like, not a recount, a re-election. Another insane thing that I heard this week was that we should. This is actually last week, Wednesday, actually, right after the election, was that, and this was not on the internet. This is a real person, so I'm not trying to get those X points or whatever. Not trying to get that Musk money. He said that the police could come in and shoot him and get away with it just for the crime of being black. I laughed secretly. Yeah, no one really believes it. But on the issue of mass deportations, by the way, just a side tangent. First of all, you're not gonna get deported just on for the crime of being black. Second of all, even the like just regular illegal immigrants, right? Just like not criminals. They probably won't even make it onto the list yet because of the people. Because they said on the news today, the appointee said on the news today that he's going to start off with the criminals and the terrorists that are coming in, and because this administration was so incompetent, you have people running over, the issues in Aurora and Springfield are coming in and taking over whole hotel complexes, and of course there's thousands, maybe millions of people here, violent criminals and have terrorist links. So you'll be so far down on the list, you might not even be president by the time he even gets to you. So joy, have some joy, and you'll be okay. But anyway, back to these people, the Grio. It's filled with these self important idiots. Who value blackness above all else. They truly do worship upon the altar and serve the God of blackness. And they were mad that at white women. So, as the tagline says, God bless the white girls of America. I guess I have to come in and defend them again. God bless the white women of America. I have to defend them again from these idiot people here over at the Grio. These people who value blackness above all else, they have this sort of faux intellectualism about them, this faux intellectualism that makes them think that they're so smart. Like, ooh, the griot. Wow, you know what that sounds like? The griot. And that's some random story from Africa. They talk about slavery and white supremacy, and that is the problem with this website because of their faulty conclusions, their faulty hypothesis of that white supremacy and systemic racism are behind the issue of everything in this country. They will always come to the wrong conclusions on why something happens. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They believe that white supremacy and systemic racism is in everything, and thus it will be the answer to every problem of why some incompetent black woman doesn't win the presidency against a more qualified person. So let's go to our first article here. Quote, and I was reading this. I mean, this is one of my favorite websites, right up there with Not the Bee and the Babylon Bee. I mean, this is basically great satire, back to Babylon. This has got to be satire, right? It's satire, right? For Black Democrats, Kamala Harris's defeat to Trump is personal. I'm I'm not sure how it's personal. I did hear yesterday in church, which was very funny because they still had their poster up about how the pastor, the youth pastor, was up there and he was like, "So kids, you were disappointed on the election." Apparently, everyone was sad. I guess for them it was sad. The great minds of the 6th to 12th graders who know so much. Me excluded, obviously. By Garen Keith Gaynor, November 8th, 2024. And so they're working through the stages of grief. Grief, I guess they're in denial right now. And that's kind of fun to see play out over on X. And they are falling short of, they're upset about her issue of falling short of the glory of the presidency. And they interviewed all these people who are crying, and they're thinking how the implications for this loss are going to affect Black women, LGBTQ plus divided by minus sign Americans. And he goes through here and he talks about all the interviews, all these people. You can go read it yourself if you have time to waste and IQ cells to lose. But they're talking about the blame game, and he wants to find someone who he can wag his finger out and blame at. And of course, you have these people who's talking to him, of course, are looking in all the wrong places, thinking that Trump is an anti-immigrant, racist, white nationalist rhetoric, which is very weird, seeing as his wife is an immigrant, and his vice president's wife is also not white, and he worked with all sorts of people, including Vivek Ramaswamy, who is decidedly not white. Like I was saying, they have no hope, no joy, no love. They're only looking out for themselves and their race and their gender. All right, so back to the article. Hopefully you guys can see this on the screen. It's nice being able to say that again. Right, there's no joy. There's no defeat. There's the defeat that they say that they have is personal to them. Right, and they're trying to say, and we close this ad. They're trying to say. Yeah, there we go. They're trying to say that it's not black women, LGBTQ people, young people, that they're hurt and they're going to pick themselves up, and 91% of them voted for an idiot, right? So when you scroll down here, and he's trying to find a blame, right? And he's looking at the news, he's trying to see who the people are blaming. He wants to find himself someone else who's going to blame. There might be a she. I don't know, nor do I care, right? So the strategist told them that it's disturbing, that it's, oh yeah, we've been through this. Yes, I just need to scroll through here again. Yeah. So then they talk to all these, people who've been, yapping, oh, the most misogynistic person ever to run for president, which, of course, I disagree. Race and gender always plays a significant role. That's what they're going into. Always have to blame these things that they always blame. They always bring this up. And, Joy Reid was actually on a video, and she was talking about this and about how the white woman that voted for her, and she was said, like, oh, I don't want the Democratic coalition say protesting like black women don't want to come. Which, Joy, let me do a nice statistics lesson for you, Joy. Okay, Joy. So she basically told all the white women not to invite black women to the Save the Democrat Party coalition march or whatever protest march that they're planning on having. They do not need you, like one bit. Well, you think that people, the overwhelming majority of the country, gonna be like, oh, look at these white women over there, 30% of the country. Wow. Well, actually, more like 15, because like half of them split off. Wow. I'd believe them more if 6% of black women were there, but just because it's just them, the black women are so important to this discussion and debate, statistically. Yeah, no, Joy, you don't need them. I mean, they don't need you. Okay, they're relevant with you and they're relevant without you. So they might as well just save themselves some time and money and some annoyance. I mean, but let's get back to the article, because I have a clip I want to show in here. Maybe I'll show it in post production. It's gonna be easier than trying to share it on the screen. All right, and you go in here. He was concerned about black men. You know how Obama, former President Obama, was wagging his finger at them and was criticizing them for suggesting that they wouldn't vote for her because she's a woman. And according to this, 70% of black men voted for Harris, which is bad numbers for them, but still pretty high. Um, and he's going to talk to all and interviews all these people, and you guys can go waste your time and read this article if you want to, right? He just goes to this interview, and then he's going to do some analysis because he has a job. He probably has a word count to make, so he has to invent stuff. So he keeps going through all of this stuff, and he basically just goes through and says they're crestfallen and sad and dejected. All of this, all of it, and it's all the fact. It's all a fault of white supremacy and racism and sexism and literally any other ism in the history of the world. But there's another more annoying article. They're called "There's No Joy This Morning," written by Panama Jackson. It's another opinion she hoped to wake up to Kamala Harris' presidency, which she didn't. She woke up again disappointed. And fortunately for her, she works for a stupid news outlet that let you yap about how disappointed she was while she revels in the amazing ad revenue. Apparently, it's an op-ed, so the Grio doesn't attack. It does believe it, but they can't say that. I can't. So say woke up, and when you listen to the story, it's like when I went to sleep, the fact wasn't certain. When I woke up at 6 in the morning to get my kids ready for school and share the results, I couldn't do it. My wife, an alumna of Howard University, took all three of my children, which 4 children, vote for her. My sons got to watch their mother cast her presidential ballot for a woman who walked the same campus yard she did. Look, I don't care if this woman walked on the moon. She's still incompetent. Good grief. Well, wow, she walked on the same campus? Wow, that's so smart. And all the children sitting there looking, clapping. Oh, you can't even see this. I mean, this is too good not to show. They're sitting there looking, clapping with bated breath as she pushed the red button to make the worst choice of her lifetime. My wife voted for Kamala Harris not just so she's saying that her not just because she went to Howard University, not just because of that. The university she attended certainly was a factor, but not only because of that factor. Oh, that makes me feel so much better that you made a dumb choice. Not only because of your alma mater, you also chose it because she's a woman. So it's okay to vote for someone because of their sex, but it's not okay to vote against someone because of their sex. Ah, got that. So rules for me and not for thee. Rules for thee and not for me, apparently. Okay, that's nice. That's good. That's good. Okay. What were the other reasons? So Howard University, she's a woman. Again, not compelling. Okay, and this is why you lost. So wait. Oh yes, Howard University because she's a woman and the mother. Maybe. And because the future of this nation depends on women and mothers to ensure its survival. Sure, okay, so Matt Walsh would agree. Especially black women? Yeah, nah, man. The future of the nation has rarely, if ever, been decided by like especially not just like oh, women and mothers, they're important. Like, ask this person what a woman is, but especially black women. Yes, yeah, the future of the nation. If it wasn't for them, we would be doomed. Okay, we would all be speaking Chinese right now, and China would have invaded the United States by now if it wasn't for them. Yeah, hard pass there. No, I don't think so. The future of the nation did not hinge on this woman who I have literally won more elections than ish. I've accomplished more than her, obviously. All right, on to the next thing. Well, here you are again, basically standing for black women like they are the second coming of Jesus Christ, who literally is right, like his first coming as a baby. Yes, the future of the world did hinge on that. You know what? The future of the world didn't hinge on some rando black woman who was born 60 years ago. Nah, man. Nah. And also because the other guy is a racist, misogynistic, xenophobic felon who's in me life, blah, 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 blah. There's always these types of people. These types of people who they always get, they like to talk super fast and say a whole bunch of stupid stuff at you. That's like seriously, say, oh my goodness, racist, misogynist, xenophobic felon, yeah, and all the people are clapping for them. I mean, they're kind of like this clip from the epic rap battles of history, where the actress portraying Kamala Harris says this.
Failed in your own city, bank, ballot box, and court. You're home alone too. You lost in New York. I was there on January.
Right. And they always talk and yap and they say non-existent, useless stuff. I mean, this is untrue. And I'd like to see this video of her trying to explain to the children the quote hurtful reality of Trump's return and try to mask and explain us as so not to kill or join innocence. Yeah, if you write for the Grio, you probably already killed your child to join innocence, whining about blackness and white supremacy every 13 seconds, and every 26 you celebrate the holiday invented by a woman beating electrical cord person, Kwanzaa. Yeah, I'm sure your children have joy and innocence if you write for the Grio. Not. And if you watch Grio TV, I mean, you're already screwed. Unlike the Urban View, already screwed. Right, you called your kids matter-of-factly that Trump had been elected president, but you wanted to yell and scream what kind of country we live in that could so overwhelmingly vote for Trump. a sane country. That's what we have for now. If you people get your way, oof, and and, and you say the country failed it in 2016. I guess the country was fine in 2020. Like it didn't fail in 2020. In fact, they were warning that Biden a few months ago wouldn't resign. So that was fun because a white man never cedes power to a black woman. And even if that is true, and the first chance of it happening, it flopped. So your track run is 0-1 compared to Trump 4-1, which is two election wins and two assassination wins. So I don't know. His record is just better, just better. Okay, just just do better. I guess it's a painful morning in Africa and America. Yes, because every African American thinks exactly the same. We are all one group. In fact, African Americans, uh, we all think so much the same that we should all have just one delegate to from each state that comes up and votes for the entire people in the community. Everyone in the community thinks the exact same, eats the same exact food, and hates the same exact people. In fact, um, they should make it the law of the land that we salute the black flag, whatever flag that is. I had a whole episode about that, and play the national anthem. Sorry, the black national anthem every day as we look up to I don't know, Obama, some random leader, and everyone has to read the Grio as your morning devotions because we all think exactly the same, we talk exactly the same. Black America was just depressed, all of them, on November 6th. All of them were crying. In fact, they were crying so hard that it caused a mini flood in, I don't know, Chicago. But then it froze because it's cold in Chicago. All right. When I think the narrative that black men refuse to vote for black women is overblown, and then this man or woman, I'm not sure, claims that the reason it's overblown is because all the black men that he knows did vote for Kamala. Probably because he cut out all the Trump supporters from his life. Like, what, you think Trump supporters are running around, sitting around and talking to Grio writers? That's like Matt Walsh having, Kamala voting friends. Probably not true. And he's and the same black woman showed out for Kamala, but not just for Kamala, but for the possibility, for the potential, for the dream. And it hurt them because they didn't get what they wanted. Because remember, there's 6% of the population, but as the 6% says, they're actually more like the three, the seven, more like the 91% of the 6% says. So goes the nation. The entire nation should hinge. The fate of the entire world should hinge on this like extreme minority of people. The fate of on this woman that I guess y'all will venerate and still have posters up of a week after she lost. Election night was a reminder and a consistent thread of reminders. Man, I'm having a hard time reading. Must be white supremacy. America, especially the white people in it. I tried to say it wasn't about race, but all the white men. Oh yes, this is the good article. The other article was just the staging. All the white men and women who smiled in the faces of black women who run cities, companies, everything in between. White America does not like black women. They could not stomach the fact that a black woman could be the face of the nation. No. That's not what they thought. I'll tell you what they thought. They could not stomach the thought that an idiot black woman would be the face of the nation. If it was a smart black woman, she would have had a shot 50-50. It's not just because she was black that they're like, oh man, you know what? Trump is. If it was literally anyone else, if it was a Rock versus him, I would have voted for the Rock. But no, it was a black woman, so it's that. And when you come to this conclusion, you're gonna keep losing. When you think that 90% of America hates black women, and then you're always gonna come to the conclusion when said idiot black woman loses. Right? If your hypothesis is white supremacy, if your hypothesis is the patriarchy, if your hypothesis is that we're evil colonizing white what's it called, ethno-European centric nation, right? And you see something that seems to support your hypothesis, but you don't add for any of the variables, like the fact that she had no policies, that she was an idiot, that she was terrible at debate, that she's a communist, and we don't like communists in this country. When we had a whole Cold War about communism, then you're just gonna always have this conclusion. When you have this conclusion, I mean, it's good for these op-eds. It's good for your entire website. I mean, that is the fuel of on which your website runs. If your hypothesis got disproven and you stopped believing in white supremacy and racism being the soul and blood of this nation, then your website would be out of business. But look, it's either this: either you stop believing that, and maybe you might win an election, or or and your website goes out of business, or your tiny website that no one cares about and that no one reads stays in business, and you keep these people somehow making money, right, over here making money, but you'll lose all your elections. So look, you take your pick. I mean, I'll be fine with either choice. Your website goes out of business. I mean, it's sad because I won't have any more articles to do this show about. We go, oh wow, look, it's one sad black woman. This woman here, she defined the policy for the entire nation, the entire United States. Look, it's just her. The entire future, whoever she voted for, that's how the nation goes. No, you're a nation of people, and as Kamala Harris would say, there's lots of people in this nation, and people in this nation vote, and what the people want, the people get. That actually sounded more coherent than what she would actually say. And she says, I hope all the black women I know are able to find some solace today. They'll be fine. Okay. Tomorrow and in the coming months. From where? I don't know. I guess religion doesn't exist in your 6%. America is more than ready for a woman to lead. America is more than ready for a black woman to lead. Fine. Whatever. But find a sane one first. Find someone who's smart. Find someone that has policy first. Not this person who literally, her only smart move was insulting Joe Biden so bad and calling him a racist and then profiting off the stupid BLM riots and stuff, so that she just existed, and Joe Biden had to pick her so he'd win the 2020 election. Because if he didn't pick a black woman, then the Friends extremist base was not going to pick, was not going to vote for him and sit out, and then Trump would win. So basically, she was insurance policy. When she lost the literal Tulsi Gabbard, that's sad. All right, next. And if she allows it, check in on the black women in your lives. The polls indicate that she voted. It's highly likely that she voted for Kamala. And what if she voted for Trump? Where he's supposed to depart from me, you race traitor. Depart from me, you bigot. Depart from me, everything. And then they put some stupid, Bible verse here out of context. The Bible verse and put it in. It's obviously stupid, right? So I guess we've learned the lesson here. And what we've learned is, do not believe this hypothesis that all of America is racist and things might go better for you. But because they believe this hypothesis, because they worship at the altar of blackness, because they believe that America's roads literally are ingrained with racism and white supremacy, this is what they get. And these people, they find so much of their true identity in their race because they honestly probably don't have any skills or talent or anything else. So they have to find identity in their race. This is where it ends up with. But I honestly find more identity in my socks than my race. I honestly find more identity in my religion, Christianity. I find more identity in my favorite sports teams, the Astros and the Texans and the Rockets. I find more identity in my state, in my nation. I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud of my socks even more. Like I have Bush socks that was given to me. Like I am proud of those things a lot more than I'd be proud of if some random black woman president of the United States. I do not see my race as anything that needs to be discussed. It's honestly ridiculous. It's not a value. It's not a detractor. It's just how I was born. And that's what these people need to realize. And if they do that, maybe, just maybe, they'd be happier, healthier people. God bless. And God save America.